7.
All right. Now, how you all ready now, Mr. Cousins, to make your stab, huh?
Yes, right.
All right. Do you think he's got anything on you at all, Mr. Breslauer?
We'll wait and see.
All right, we'll wait and see. All right, fire away, Mr. Cousins.
Well, I from appearances and everything I find, I think that the gentleman was born in the upper part of the state of California.
Is that right, Mr. Breslauer?
And he lived there for a little while in his youth. I think he moved to San Francisco.
Is that so? How about both those points right or wrong?
That's right.
It is? Oh, that's 2 up. You got 2 up on him. All right, what about now, Mr. Cousins?
He went through the schools, San Francisco here.
Well, does he look like a San Francisco schoolboy?
Yes.
He does. What schools? Want to hazard a guess?
Lowell High School.
Lowell, maybe. Is that right, Mr.
That's right.
What?
That's correct.
Is that correct? Oh, this guy's terrific. All right, that's
And,
3 points.
He likes seals.
He what?
Likes seals.
He likes seals. Is that right, Mr. Breslauer?
Seals. Seals. He used to go for seals.
What makes you think that? Just to
Well,
look at him, huh?
Conversation.
Yes, I see. Is that right, Mr. Breslauer?
I don't recall seals.
All right.
Well, does he mean a baseball team?
No.
He used to play a trumpet or a cornet, I think.
He did? Well, is that right?
That's right.
Oh, this guy is really, really terrific.
I think he was a salesman for shoes. Maybe he's an attorney. He is an attorney now.
Yeah.
He used to sell shoes.
What makes you think that? Wait a minute now. First of all, let's find out if it's true. It probably isn't. Did you ever sell shoes in your life?
I did. That's right.
You did? This guy is terrific. Well, go ahead, Mr. Cousins. That's is he sensational or not, Mr. Breslauer?
He certainly is.
Yes.
And
what about where did he go to school? He's a lawyer.
California, and I think.
Where would he go over there?
Bolton. Graduating about 21 or 22.
How about that, Mr. Breslauer?
Somewhere around there. That's correct.
He's good, isn't he, Mr. Breslauer?
He's a real investigator.
All right. Well, what about his children now?
Well, he had 2 children. I think something...
Do you think so?
Yes, he told me he had 2 children. Been married about 13 years. That's what he told me.
I see.
One's a boy, one's a girl.
I see. Could you hazard a guess? What would you say? The guess of the name of the boy, say.
Appearances, the boy must be Alfred, usually a junior.
Is that right, sir?
Alfred, something
Is that right?
That's
junior.
Correct.
Oh, my. Are all these things true, Mr. Breslauer?
These are true.
This man is sensational. Did you tell him all those things out there, Mr.
No, he found them out.
Well, how do you like that? Well, how do you suppose it? You're not psychic, are you, Mr. Cousins?
Oh, no.
Well, my goodness. Well, what else can you tell us about him?
He has a daughter.
Yes, what about his mother and father?
Oh. His mother and father, yes, he had a mother and father.
Yes, well, that's What's the mother's name?
His mother's name was Henrietta.
Is that right, sir?
That's correct.
Well, listen. What about the father?
His father was Isidore.
Yes?
Yes.
Well, did he have any other relatives?
He has a sister.
Yes. Where'd she live?
Salinas.
Is that right?
That's right.
Who is that? Why? This man is psychic.
And he has a cousin down there, Leon Breslauer.
Is that right, too, sir?
Correct.
Well, my goodness. Leon Breslauer. Well, what happened to... tell us more about the sister and that. Or Breslauer, what happened to this Leon?
Well, I guess he's still down there.
Yeah. I see. Is that true? Did you have a cousin Leon?
That's correct.
When was the last time you saw him, Mr. Breslauer? When was the last time? He looked at this man, and he seemed to be gone or something. I said, no. When was the last time you saw him?
Must be 20 years, 25 years ago.
Would you recognize him if you saw him again after all these years?
Your question just tipped me off.
What does that mean? Huh?
It means that Mr. Cousins is Leon Breslauer.
That's right, your long-lost cousin there. Say hello to him. Say hello to him.
How do you do?
Are you a surprise man?
I certainly am.
Oh, boy. All right, now come here, fellas. Now, just so come in here close to the microphone, fellas, so you can all be together. We've arranged a huge reunion dinner here at the famous Omar Khayyam's restaurant, where George Mardikian will be your host. He's the same fellow who was the official chef for the United Nations conference here. And for you and your wife, Mr. Breslauer, and your wife and your sister, Mr. and Mrs. Leon Breslauer, and the kiddies and the aunts and the uncles and cousins, all the relatives will be there. You must have a big family not to see your cousin before that, huh, Mr. Yes, sir. Are you still a little flabbergasted about this?
Still a little flabbergasted.
Well, have a nice time. The party's on us, and you both get get $5 for a very happy consequence plus a big red box of Does. And Mr. Alfred Breslauer, so you can remember this occasion on Truth or Consequences, here's a 14-carat, 21-jewel, solid gold Bulova wristwatch. And Cousin Leon, we couldn't forget you. Here's a 14-carat, 21-jewel, solid gold Bulova wristwatch for you, too. Bulova, George.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Goodbye, cousin. Goodbye, Alfred.
Bye.
Now, here we go in a cloud of suds. The mailman's here.
With thousands letters from near and far, does everything, yes, sirree. D-U-Z.
Yes,
Look at all those letters, boy. North, south, east, and west. Wash day is Does Day.
Right, Robert. In Farmington, Maine, Miss Iola Perkins is director of public school music.
Mm-hmm.
She says her students keep all their band instruments clean with Does.
Boy, from tubas to trombones, it's Does.
Oh, sharp, Robert. You were sharp.
Yeah, say, Ralph.
Yes.
Here's a beaut from Buffalo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilma Capenhurst knows what a snowy white wash does, so she brightened up her tennis game by doesing all the tennis balls.
Sure, Ace. Does gives dirt the deuce.
Oh, lovely.
Golly, folks, we're mighty pleased with all your swell letters.
And you know the ladies are mighty pleased with all their Does washes. Why, from Buffalo, New York, Mrs. Irwin Apt writes, recently my mother did her washing with me, and being a faithful user of another laundry soap, she noticed I use Does. She asked why I changed from the family tradition, and I said because it's much simpler to do all your work the Does way. I can use the same soap for towels, rayon blouses, or the children's play clothes, and it's so easy, and quicker, too. When we got through, Mother agreed with me and now is a constant user of Does.
Mrs. Apt is some saleswoman.
Well, it's a cinch to sell any lady on the idea of using one soap for everything in her wash. Just think, folks, you can use this new kind of soap for all the things you want to get white, like towels, pillowcases. Does turns them out the whitest white any soap can.
Does them and they dazzle.
You can Does all the things you want to get clean easy, like overalls, work pants. Does can't be beat for tough cleanup jobs.
So long, hard scrubbing.
Yet Does does more. All the pretty colors you want to keep bright, like print blouses, rayon undies, they're Doesable too. In fact, Does treats colors better than any other leading wash day soap.
See why it's best to buy Does?
Does does everything.
Okie dokie, Bob Williams. Now, it's time to hear the results of our quest for the most courteous person in America. The consequence for you folks at home with prizes and bonds up to $3,000. Last week on Truth or Consequences, we announced that one of our representatives in each of our 133 NBC cities would choose the person who was the most courteous to him during the week. The winner in each of the 133 cities would receive from Truth or Consequences a $25 war bond. And then from that group of winners, we would select the national winner, the most courteous person in America, and the winner would receive a $500 war bond. So now listen carefully. Each Truth or Consequences representative in the 133 cities tuned in throughout the nation will announce locally the $25 war bond winner, the most courteous man in our city. All right, here is your local representative.
This is Hunter Scott, your San Francisco representative for Truth or Consequences. I found a lot of courteous people in San Francisco this week, but the most courteous was Private First Class Lorenza Jones, MP Guard out at the United Nations Conference. So Private Jones wins the $25 war bond for San Francisco, and I hope he wins the national prize of $500.
All right, so there you have your local winners. Now our representatives will send us their reasons for their selection of the most courteous person in their city, and the best of the lot, the national $500 war bond winner, will be announced next week on Truth or Consequences. And now let's have at the microphone Mr. and Mrs. Fay. Hello, Mrs. Fay.
Hello.
Come in close. Tell us where you're from.
Hollywood, California.
Good. Where are you from, Mr. Fay?
Hollywood, California.
Works out that way, doesn't it? All right, here's a question for you, miss it. We will have a little consequence. If a clock strikes only the hours, how many times does it strike in one day? Truth or Consequences? That was sent in by Betty Allen of New Orleans, Louisiana.
24.
Nope. 156. Count them. Twice times 78. 24 hours striking. You haven't told the truth, so you must pay the consequences. Now, Mrs. Fay, put on this. Mr. Fay will have you put on the raincoat and the shower cap, because in this consequence, you'll be a necessary prop for your wife. Get the shower cap on. That's it. Now, Mrs. Fay, we want you to make a short speech on the subject, how cool and calm I am. Will you do that? All right, now come over here. Every time, though, that I tap this bell, Mrs. Fay, every time that I tap this bell, you must do the three following things. You must break one of these dishes, then scream as loud as you can, and then squirt your husband in the face with seltzer water, and then just continue your speech as if nothing had happened. All right, now here we go. The subject of the speech is how cool and calm I am. All right, now go right ahead. Then when the bell rings, you break the dish, scream, squirt the husband with seltzer water. Here we go. The speech begins.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Well, just think of something to say, Mrs. Faye.
I'm very cool and calm.
Yes?
I just can't wait to do this.
Get him! Get him! I'm giving you pointers, but you won't take them. All right, go right ahead. I'm giving you points on the speech. Will you go ahead? How cool and calm I am.
Well,
Think of one more thing. All right, the bell rings. Hey! Up! Stop! Where am? All right, give her a hand. Give her $5. Give her a big red box it does. Bring up the soldier real quick. Yeah, come on, bring up the soldier. There you are. A big red box it does, too, Mrs. Fay. Those does suds stand up till the last dish is done. You let your husband off easily. Come on, let's have this soldier right here. What is your name, please, sir?
Joe Parskel.
What is it?
Joe Parskel.
Joe Parskel?
Right.
Parskel. Where are you from?
Holland.
From Holland?
Right.
How long you been over here?
5 years.
Look at all the medals on this fellow, will you? What is your rating, would you say, your rank?
Corporal.
All right, now here's a question, miss it. We will have a little consequence. What starts with T, ends with T, and is full of T? Truth or consequences?
Truth. Oh.
No. Teapot. All right, you haven't told truth, you must pay the consequences. Do you have a cigarette lighter?
Yeah.
Get it out. If it lights on the first try, don't get, I will give you $100. If it lights on the first try, I'll give you $100. Are you shaking on this?
Well,
Now come up here. Now, when I count 3, you light it. $100 if it works. Hold up the cigarette lighter so everybody can see. 1, 2, 3. It works! $100! How about that, huh?
Okay.
Over and get you $100.
Where can I get it?
Right over there, right at the cashier, Lily Engel. Thanks a whole lot, boy. Yes, Rob.
Could we arrange to stop in Atlantic, Iowa on our bond tour?
No, I'm afraid not, Bob. But why Atlantic, Iowa? Have they got cigarettes or something?
No, it's this letter from little Rochelle Ann Nelson. She says if we'd walk past her house in Atlantic on wash day, we'd see 2 clotheslines. One with a big Does wash on it for the whole Nelson family, and the other line with a little Does wash of doll clothes, all Does by Miss Rochelle herself.
Say, there's a real family of Doesers.
With a real family friend in Does. One soap that does everything in the wash.
Work clothes to doll clothes.
Sure, take those greasy work clothes. Just give Does the go-ahead and watch that tough dirt scram without any hard scrubbing. And for white washes, boy, there's no beating Does, not by any soap. Towels come out W-H-I-T-E white. Yet this powerhouse on dirt is extra careful with pretty rayon undies. Does actually leaves colors brighter. It's safer for them than any other leading wash day soap.
Well, I'd say it's best to buy Does.
Does does everything.
That's the truth. Now, the grand prize winner tonight is Mrs. Crabtree and the 2 cousins. They all get a $25 war bond, a war bond for victory. Remember, the truth is if we don't buy bonds, we'll all have to pay the consequences. We gotta go.
Tune in next week to hear our show with a dozen surprises for you and me from D-U-Z.
This is Ralph Edwards sending you dozens of good washes, and until next week when we learn who wins a $500 bond and the title of the most courteous man in America, good night, everybody!
That's the new kind of soap that does everything. Presented Ralph Edwards and Truth or Consequences from the Civic Auditorium, San Francisco. Goodbye for now. See you all next week for another full hour of fun with the Teal Variety Hall, followed by Truth or Consequences.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.